Hey guys, it's Marshall Ting with your Superior Ag Insurance Ringside report for this past week, the week of July 30th through August 4th. So, August has sure enough come in like a lion. You know, we normally say March does, but this August has really came in strong. These numbers are way up as far as your dollars are concerned, and runs are pretty much steady, all things considered. So we sold 14,600 head of cattle, but this market, I'm telling you, it's numbers wise, we're right on par. I've kept thinking we were going to run out of cattle, but I guess we're not. I mean, we are really right on par with how we have been, and we have been all year, even though it seemed like the cycle has been a little bit more unusual than what we're used to. But about these prices now, these prices continue to climb, and there's really strong buyer activity and buyer demand right now. So we're going to call your feeder steers $4 to $6 higher. Heifers are going to be right behind them at $3 to $5 higher. But when we talk about what these 4 weights are worth and these 5 weights are worth, it is pretty daggone strong. Now, I'm sure most of you all have heard that we had some $4 4 weights on Superior last week. We didn't have that in the cash here, but I'd say it won't be too long. I sold several 3 weight steer cattle on my Monday sale, and that's a good sign as we go forward. But let's talk about what happened last week. Now, as far as your 4 weights are concerned, I'm going to give you a pretty big spread on them. I'm going to call them 250 to 270, and that's going to have a little bit of play on where you're at and what time of the week you market them on. But 250 to 270, the topped out off at 296. So we are right underneath that $3 mark, and that sure is a good sign. Now, your 5 weight steer cattle actually are right there in the same thing as far as your dollars per hundred as a spread, 250 to 270. Now, as far as your high sale on those, are going to be right behind them at 289. So that's still really not too far behind them when you figure you put an extra 100 pounds an animal on them. That's still pretty tight. Now, let's talk about these loads. So we really actually, as compared to usually, had a light test on your 8 weight steer cattle this past week. We saw several groups of lighter steer cattle. We saw several groups of heavier steer cattle. But as far as your 8 weights, I'd consider it a light test, all things considered. So let's talk about these numbers real fast. So start off. Here's 59 head of black steers, weigh 837 on the average. 253 is your top on that, and that is a really strong number that far surpasses just about everything else that we've seen. I'm sure they're a great set of cattle. Now here's your mixed set right behind them, just to give you a comparison. Here's 59. These are mixed steers, 838, so right there on a comparative average. 240.50. That's on blacks, reds, and Charolais. Now here's another set of blacks. Here's 59 head of black steers, just a hair heavier, 855 pounds on the average, 245.30, and then close out with some 9 weights that are light 9s, 63 head of 9 weight steers, 906 at 244. So like I said, these numbers are really, really strong, and if you compare them to our CME feeder cattle index here in a second, we are right on par, if not above it, and we've still got a whole lot more trucking and other inputs to put into these cattle versus your Big 12 there in the middle. So let's talk about your CME feeder cattle index. So Tuesday the 1st, 245.02. Wednesday the 2nd, 244.94. Thursday the 3rd, 245.84. And then Friday the 4th, 245.20. So that's what you're seeing me feeder cattle index. I'm going to call it pretty much steady. But if you compare it to how our 8 weights have just traded, that's a really good sign and a really, really tight competitive trade, if not us being over by just a hair. Now, if you have any questions about these numbers or an LRP policy, there's no better time than right now to invest in an LRP policy. Call the guys. Call Ian Thomas at 859-613-2453 or call Adam Shoemaker at 859-338 4116. Check them out on the web, www.superioragins.com. Thank you so much. Look forward to talking to you soon.